3 a.m. in the morning, and I'm sitting all alone. Nighttime and it's a shiver, I can feel it in my bones.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Pesky Pole Podcast, episode 110. Joining me today is a face you know far too well. Even though we've done well, we haven't had him on the show in like a month or so. So we're making progress here. Okay, the less we see this bastard with the chin strap beard, you know, the better we all are as a Red Sox Nation community. Please welcome Fumblerooski podcast host Adam Wright. Adam, say hello to the people.
No.
What?
I won't do it.
You revolting against Pesky Pole Nation now?
No.
They'll fight back. They'll fuck you up. They'll fight back.
All 1,000 of them?
All like 100 of them, yeah.
100.
You're right.
Just hit 4K followers.
We get in a couple hundred. We get in a couple hundred listens every episode, so you know we doing all right. We doing all right, especially for being me. You know, I don't have a committee of 4 minions having my back at every step. Okay, yeah, it's just me. I run this shit. Okay, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty well. Yeah, the Patriots could be playing better, and the Red Sox could be doing better recruiting, but we're working on it.
Hey, you know, I've been in much higher spirits because I've been watching a lot of Celtics, and Celtics are actually pretty damn good. So you know, we're in high spirits.
The Celtics and Bruins are the polar opposite of the Red Sox and Patriots, and it's hilarious.
Oh my god! At least, I mean, because we'll get into this a little bit more later. But with the Red Sox this year, we're so glad it's over. But the Red Sox were just mid. They weren't good. They weren't bad. I believe 78 wins, 78 and 84 record. It's mid. It's not even bad. It's mid. The Patriots are at least bad.
They are, yeah. They're bottoming out, which I love. Now we can. It's Tankapalooza Part 1 for the first time they're this bad since like '92. It's bad.
No, since 2000.
Since '92.
Last time they were. Well, no, last time they were 2-8. 2-8 was 2000.
Last time they were 2-8 was 2000, but they're on a pace to be much worse. Like they could end up drafting a similar position as the '92 team, the last one that drafted number 1 overall.
Which, correct me if I'm wrong, that was the Drew Bledsoe, right?
Yeah.
See, I know my Patriots history a little bit. I know. All right. Let's not mention to the Pesky Pole Nation that I beat you in a football trivia on your own podcast, okay? Tune into the Fumblerooski podcast. See this beautiful face every now and again. All right. You already know. Without further ado, let's get into it. Adam, since the last time I've had you on, Craig Breslow, now the chief baseball officer for the Boston Red Sox. I looked up what that means, and it basically means just you're in charge of everything baseball related. So, you know, he's the man in charge. I have my thoughts on this. Talk to the people. You have the floor.
Well, to be honest, he seems – we really need to see what happens with him because I've seen a little bit that I've heard a little bit from him that sounds like he's the second coming of Chaim Bloom. But I've also heard some that is more Dombrowski-like. Like we have some spots we need to address. We need to fix these issues. But I've also heard some analytical stuff. He uses a lot of big words. Not that there's anything wrong with a good vocabulary, but when you just do it just to do it, then it sounds like you're just trying to be a nerd. And I love Craig Breslow. That 2013 Red Sox team has a special place in my heart. So maybe I'm just being very kind to him, but I'm really not sure how I feel about him as a hiring.
No, and I mean, I'm kind of in the same boat. I'm remaining optimistic though. Chaim just would sit on his hands and wouldn't do shit. All right. The Justin Turner signing turned out okay. The Corey Kluber signing, I want to fight him for it. The Kenley Jansen signing, I want to fight him for it.
It's not that bad. Kenley Jansen
$16 million for a 36-year-old guy?
Maybe the amount wasn't. Maybe the amount was a lot, but he was still a solid closer for us.
You could, if your complaints were you didn't have enough money to go out and sign Bogarts, why the fuck are you paying $16 million to someone who's 7 years older than him at a position which you could realistically fill with Garrett Whitlock?
But we're
Garrett
not
Whitlock
talking.
said,
We're not talking about him. We're not talking about Bogarts. We're talking about Kenley Jansen. I'm
know,
not
just
looking at the
saying-
financial part. I'm looking at how he did in real life, and he did okay.
No, not compared to the money. Statistics wise, yeah, $8 million. Sure, I'll be okay with $8 million.
I agree.
$8 million per year over 2 years, but doubling that for his production as he's getting older, nah. But Corey Kluber, like we said, I mean, Breslov's already come in and started fixing things. Kluber's gone. Like, you got a few people who are gone. Justin Turner declined his option, which I'm going to say this, I wouldn't be upset if they brought him back. Just as a DH, he's fine. Having him at second base was just weird, man. You got to admit, putting Turner at second base was just weird.
It's character development from you. You hated Justin Turner being here.
Hey,
He's 35 and he's paid too much.
Do I still think he was paid too much? $10 million for that?
Suddenly, he was one of their best players on the entire team.
Mm-hmm. Him, Casas, Devers all did their parts. They did very good. Even Yoshida. I was in the boat of Yoshida was overpaid, but that was just the price that you had to pay to bring him in. But
that was
he
mainly
did well.
He did pretty well.
Yeah,
they had some. They had some good players in their offense. Just their pitching was terrible, and
their pitching.
You could argue they didn't have enough power.
So here's the question. Two more things I need to say. Number one about Craig Breslow. As you mentioned, he was here during the Red Sox glory years, and then for the fall of the Red Sox too, right? From that 2012-2015, he was here, and then he went to Miami, and then Minnesota, and then Cleveland. We don't talk about those years, okay? We just talk about his Boston years. He came to Boston, then he retired. Okay, that's what we talk about.
That's
by the way, that's
our story, and we're sticking with it.
Yes, not to mention he was in Boston in 2006 too, which I completely forgot about. I don't know about you.
I didn't even
Played
know
13
about that.
games off. 13 games, 12 innings.
To be fair, though, he was only there for one glory year for 2013.
Yes.
2014 they were in last. 2015 they were in last. 2012 they were in last.
But that's kind of what I'm alluding to is he saw how to and how not to build a team in Boston. As our biggest thing with Heim was, he was very good at building a team in Tampa. But the strategy and the way you build a team in Tampa, small market, is vastly different than how you would build in Boston, a big market. So that's why I'm optimistic, because he saw how to and how not to build a team in a big market. So I'm optimistic about that. The biggest question I have, does he have the balls to get rid of Chris Sale? He's done nothing for us. He's just eating up $29 million in cap.
I don't think that's going to be the question. I don't think they'll end up getting rid of him.
I don't know, man. I feel it's a definite possibility. I'm very much on board if they feel like that's the best. Just restart with this. Chris Sale, don't get me wrong. We know this. We have a lot of respect for him for what he's done. 2018 was an amazing year. But in terms of the last, we've talked about this before. There's videos up of just what has he done for us since COVID, since 2020. What has he done? He's played in maybe 30 games in 3 years.
Yeah.
And that's atrocious for someone you're paying almost $30 million per year to.
I wouldn't be opposed to them moving on from him, but I also wouldn't be opposed to them holding on to him and trying to just play out the rest of his deal, because it's almost done.
It's 1 year left, so I understand that.
When he is healthy, he does play really well still. It's just when he's healthy, keyword.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they're going to – I honestly think they're going to try and continue to find lightning in a bottle and get that last drop of baseball, of good baseball out of Chris Sale. And maybe they're a competitive team like a 2021 type season and he'll be a part of that. Maybe that's what they're kind of looking for.
So what I'm thinking is, like I said, that's $29 million. If you're looking to compete now in 2024, and it all depends on your strategy too. If you're looking more towards 2025, 2026 to compete, then yeah, keep him, let him ride out his contract so you don't have to give up anything extra to get rid of him. But let's be honest, for that big of a contract and his production, you're going to have to give up a prospect as incentive for another team to take on that money, right? A team like the Royals, who won't be using that money, who can release him and let him go wherever he wants, but the Royals would need to get a prospect out of it. You know, not a crazy good prospect, mid-tier prospect. You know, you're going to have to give up at least a prospect to get rid of him. But if you're timing, if you want to compete in 2024, then you have to trade him and a mid prospect for nothing. But the other team takes on that whole salary. You get rid of him, you get rid of his salary, you use that $30 million to go out and sign someone in free agency.
Yeah.
Yeah. The pieces are there. It's just, do you have the cojones to do it? Or is that even in your plan? Like I said, if their plan is to compete 25, 26, yeah, there's no harm in one more bad year. And the Red Sox are a very strict, tight organization. They want to win every year, but if you have one bad year, it's better than losing, being in last place 3 out of 4 seasons that you're in charge.
That's exactly my thoughts.
Yeah, we're not even going to talk about those years because those were fucking atrocious. Speaking of free agents, the Red Sox are in the hunt. They're not really favorites to get this person, but somebody had a really big resurgence to their career last year. Still young, former MVP, had a good resurgence on a different team, and the Red Sox are in the bidding to get Cody Bellinger. How do we feel about that? I'm torn.
He's still at the key word is in the bidding.
Yes.
Because there's a lot of players that they've been in on, but they never actually pan out when they go after them, outside of Trevor Story in recent years. It's not the possibility. Like the Red Sox have the money and resources to get most players in all of baseball. But the question is whether they're willing to do it. We saw when Dave Dombrowski was in charge, he signed every player he wanted to sign. He traded for any player he wanted. Mm-hmm. Then when Heim was there, suddenly we don't feel like we can get anybody. It's not about the capability. It's the guy who's at the helm. So it's really, we need to kind of see it from Breslow. I've seen a little bit of both from what he has said. I want to see what he actually does. And also we want to raise the question of what they should do. Because do we really want to go on this long spending spree? Is that really what is best for this team? Like, yeah, I want to invest in better pitching, but right now they're not trying to win right now. I think the ideal situation is in 2 or 3 years you win, or at least you're making steps in the right direction towards it. You have some good prospects in your system. That much Heim did really well. Now let's see how they develop. Let's try to supplement it through free agency, but don't build an entire team overnight like you tried to do in 2015 and like you successfully somehow did in 2013. It doesn't work all the time. Most of the time it doesn't.
Mm-hmm. The thing I want to say with this is if this happens, one of two things has got to happen too. Number one, Justin Turner can't come back, because we'll have 4 good outfielders. So one of them's got a DH.
They should have traded him at the deadline, but yeah.
Yeah, we're both on that boat. I was saying, because if I remember correctly, I don't want to misinterpret what you're saying. I believe at the trade deadline you were saying to buy.
I did say to buy.
I was full sell. I was garbage.
They did,
but you were saying sell Justin Turner at his highest value to get something back equal at value, but probably younger.
But
right,
Robert, they didn't do either. That's my problem. If you want to say that, like, let's sell. You can talk me into selling,
Mm-hmm.
but like I just happen to believe that we should buy into this team and try to make the postseason since you were so close. But if
Yep.
you're not going to commit to either side, like what are we doing here?
Mhm.
The
And I
pieces
will-
you had at the deadline, you could have sold for some really, really good prospects, but you did nothing. And
I
now
will
you
say
lost
this.
Justin Turner for nothing.
I'll say this though, right at the trade deadline, I put out a poll to the Pesky Pole Nation. I said, "What do you think the Red Sox should do?" Because we're in that position where we could go either way. I said, "Buy, sell, do nothing." I put 3 options on the poll. 75% of people said do nothing.
75% of
what
people are
in
stupid.
the blue hell, Pesky Pole Nation? You know I love you. You know I love you guys. But what the hell were you thinking?
This is why I hate
nothing.
This is why I hate the 9 out of 10 doctors approve of this toothpaste type. This is that type of crowd. Listen,
Oh my
like
god.
you
So,
can't like
Pesky
just
Pole
be.
Nation-
I can disagree with 9 out of 10 doctors. Just like I can agree with 75% of your stupid fan base.
Oh my god. This was the one time you were utterly wrong, Pesky Pole Nation. Because what happened? We did nothing. We're mid. Mid as fuck. There's no bright side here. It's not, hey, we were bad. We can rebuild. We have a really good draft pick. It's not, hey, we made the playoffs. We could have gone on a Cinderella run. No, it's 78 wins and mid. Pisses me off that was the case, and it pisses me off even more that Pesky Pole Nation wanted this. They wanted this. But anyway, getting back to Bellinger. So either Justin Turner needs to go, and he's not going to re-sign, or Justin Turner resigns and Alex Verdugo is on the hot seat. Because it's the last year of his deal, or last year that he's under team control. And it's a kick in the ass of, hey, get it together a little bit more. You've been doing good. 270 is nothing to scoff at. 270 is good. But we traded Mookie for you. Get your ass in gear. You know what I mean? So if Bellinger is signed and Turner's re-signed, I would highly, highly look at Verdugo being traded at the deadline.
I think they should trade Verdugo. I just don't think he's a good. I don't like. He's a good player. He's a solid player. Not nearly what he was supposed to be when the Red Sox traded for him, but he's clearly not a leader. And on top of that, he's not producing at nearly the level that he should be. And he's going to be expensive too when he is signed. So why not just trade him and get some prospects out of it? Like while we're playing this whole, build towards the future thing, while we were on the whole selling thing that they should have done at the deadline. Why not do that?
You just got to commit. You have to commit one way or the other.
That's what I'm saying.
For months now.
I said buy. I did say buy. Like I did say buy, but you can talk me into selling. If they were to sell, they had some good starting pitchers that they could have gotten a lot out of because starting pitchers go for a gold mine at the deadline, at deadlines.
I was the exact. I'm on the sell train where I was saying scrap the team except for probably Casas, Whitlock, Devers, Duran. You could throw Yoshida in there too. Keep those 5, scrap the rest, start over. I was in that boat.
Why does it feel like somebody is left out of that list?
I feel like I'm missing someone too. Comments will let me know. But
Cedar Rafaela.
I'm not talking prospects. Just guys that are in the league right now.
Right.
Rafaela's in the league.
Who's the other guy?
Sorry.
Who was the starting pitcher?
Oh, Bayo.
That's who we were forgetting. Yep.
My bad. I'm stupid. Yep. Of course, I had Bayo. My bad. So yeah, you get those handful of guys. You keep them that are already in the league. Mayer, obviously, keep those guys. And then you scrap everything else. But if you convinced me, hey, Verdugo's looking really good. Hey, Justin Turner's had a really good insurgence. All we need is some good starting pitching and a second baseman or a shortstop. Wherever Story wants to play, fill in the other hole. We got some pieces because, I love my boy Rob Refschneider. Love my boy Rob Refschneider. Not starting second baseman material. You know how it is, right? You can convince me that buying in Cinderella run like 2021, I'd be like, okay, at least we made the playoffs. There's something to look forward to. There's something to build upon. Being mid, there's nothing to build upon. All right, we got to keep going, though. Next guy. Adam, we both made posts about this on the Instagram. Shohei Ohtani to Boston. We have an update on it. There's a lot of connections between Shohei and Boston that make a lot of sense. But as of right now, a lot of insiders are saying that the Red Sox are already out of the Ohtani sweepstakes. Don't know why. The quote just says, this is from a Boston Red Sox insider, Alex Spire, I think is how you pronounce his name. The Boston
Alex
Globe.
Spear, yeah.
He said, quote, let's get this out of the way. Boston looks like an unlikely landing spot for Ohtani. And yeah, we got to admit, it was a stretch. It was a stretch, to think that Ohtani would want to sign a 12-year contract here. It's a stretch, but, we had our hopes up slightly. But yeah, it looks like it's not going to happen. I'm just telling you, if he signs with the Yankees or Dodgers, I'm jumping. Okay.
Things could change because that stuff is reports like that have come out in a lot of free agencies in different leagues or throughout our recent memory, and things have happened. But I also wouldn't hate it if he doesn't sign here. I would hate it if he signs with the Yankees and probably the Dodgers as well. But he's a 30-year-old player. Like, we're forgetting he's not young. He is not young. He's been in the Japanese league, for God knows how long. So he's not young. And on top of that, he plays two positions.
Yeah, he got injured and he can't play. He can't pitch till 2025.
He's been great playing both positions. I'll give him that. But do we really think it's sustainable over a 12-year stretch? There's a reason why teams don't invest in pitchers as much as they do position players, because they get hurt easily. They're throwing 100 pitches every 5 days over a 162-day stretch.
Yeah. But here's the thing you're forgetting, Adam, because we talked about this with Xander too, right? You're not paying that person that lump sum for the 12 years. You're paying that person that lump sum for like 7. And then for the 5, you're just eating dead money.
So do we want to do that?
This happened so many times with Bogarts, with Miggy, with Prince Fielder, with all these types of guys. You pay them that money for their 5 to 7 years of productiveness. And with Ohtani, it's looking like it's going to be a crazy $500 million number. So you're paying for those first 5 to 7 years. That is your championship window of 7 years. After that, you're going to fall off a cliff, right? You're going to fall off a cliff. You're going to have 5 years where you're going to have to eat dead cap, and that's the price you're willing to pay. But that going forward, that you're going to have to take those 5 years of dead cap. How it is. That's usually the way it goes, but do we want to do that? Is that something we really want? And how do we know he's going to last 7 years? I feel like if he's 30, he's a position player who also pitches. You might have to force him to quit one of those positions, which I'm leaning towards pitching. And pitching is something you have to work on. Yep.
Like, I just feel like he's going to be overpriced for what you're actually getting. Way overpriced. That may be an unpopular opinion, but I'm sticking with it.
Yeah, no, I can agree. Like, it will be a risk to sign someone because we've already seen big contract signings blow up in our faces towards the latter part of their contracts. Chris Sale, Trevor Story, you already see a lot of these guys. So, who is that one minor league guy? Not Rusney Castillo.
Yoan Moncada. And there's another player that Dombrowski shipped out of here
Yeah.
and got the better of the deal.
Yeah. But, that's how it is. Last thing. Worcester Woo Sox. The owner, Larry Lucchino.
It's Worcester Red
Says
Sox. Don't say Worcester Woo Sox.
Worcester Woo Sox.
Don't say
Woo.
that.
I know.
You just pissed off the entire region of Worcester.
I know, but let's be honest. Worcester's kind of scummy. All right. You can't deny it. Okay.
It's growing on me. I'll tell you that much. It's the city's getting significantly beher. I grew up here. It's getting much better. It's actually a decent city now.
All right. All I'm going to say for the audience is I've dated a girl from Worcester, and I'm not going to generalize the whole town because of her. Adam, you know.
Yes, he is. Yes, you are.
Okay. I'm not trying to generalize the whole town off of her, but let's just say I will no longer be dating any girls from Worcester. Okay.
Well, yeah,
but
you don't date city girls.
No. But yeah, so it's looking like they're going to sell the team. Said on a podcast that it's time. It's time to sell the team. As someone who works for the Worcester Woo Sox, what are your thoughts? I can't have really many thoughts. I'm not part of the group over there, so all on you.
So if it ain't broke, don't fix it. It's such a great atmosphere over there. And if they make too many changes, if you fix something that's not broken, then you're just going to make it worse. And it's a great atmosphere over there. It feels like you're at a major league game when you're there. It's actually that incredible. It's one of the best minor league, if not the best minor league ballpark in America. It's that good. So don't screw it up, please. And please don't leave Worcester. That Polar Park, the Paw Sox moving into Worcester was the best thing to happen to Worcester.
Yes.
And you can see the construction going on around the ballpark. All these businesses investing in the area. It's making the area better. So please don't do anything to screw it up.
So I still remember this. This was about 6 months into this podcast when I still had the beautiful bastard Ari Aiton as my co-host. We were talking about Pawtucket moving to Worcester, and the logos were fucking garbage. Oh my god, those original logos with the yellow smiley face were so bad. Oh, those were terrible. And we spent like a 10-minute segment just ripping on those logos, and we were like, "This is atrocious. Bring back the Paw Sox." Those times were amazing, but then they got their shit together.
You've never been to a Woo Sox game, have you?
I've not, because once COVID hit, they didn't have a minor league season, and I haven't been back. I've been back to Massachusetts once since, and that was in November.
It's significantly better than McCoy Stadium. Trust me, it is much better. It's not.
I will
it's
say
night
this,
and day.
it's been a hot minute since I went to a Paw Sox game. Okay, I was young when I went to a Paw Sox game.
But the McCoy Stadium was like a minor league stadium. Polar Park is a major league facility. It's that good.
Okay, so for the last segment, we have to I want to say a story real quick that happened to me this week because I just found it really funny. So for those of you who don't know, I'm a professional dancer. It's my job. So I'm on break from my job, and I'm sweating. I'm working out a lot. I go outside. It's 30 degrees and freezing rain, but I'm sweating. I'm hot. I'm like, I don't need to throw on a jacket. I go to a nearby gas station to go get a snack. I'm at the register, and this dude comes up to me, and an older gentleman, and he's like, "Hey, aren't you cold in that?" I'm like, "Nah, my job. I got to work out a lot, so I'm very warm right now. I need to go outside, cool off." He's like, "Oh, what do you do?" And I say, "Well, I'm a professional ballet dancer." He goes, "Oh, cool. I was a professional athlete when I was your age." I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, yeah. He's like, how old are you? I said, 24. He's like, yeah, when I was your age, I was in the White Sox minor league system. I'm like, what's your name? He goes, Don Nelson. He didn't play in the league a long time, but yeah, he was part of the White Sox for a couple of years in the 70s. So I met a random ass MLB player at a gas station in the middle of Denver, Colorado. It's pretty fun.
Good for you.
It was very weird, but it was really cool. So, Adam. So for this last segment, we typically do where I will quiz you on something football related, but today we're gonna do something a little different.
The war in Israel.
No.
What's your stance?
No.
What's your take?
No. You're not CJ. We're not doing that right now. Okay. So I need you to blind rank 1 through 5 famous Adams in history. Okay.
Okay.
I had this with another guy I was doing this with a guy who just got drafted by the Red Sox, Zach Fogel. And I told him to blind rank famous Zachs. And he left the number 1 slot open for the last guy. And the last guy was Zach Wilson.
Ooh.
And he's like, yeah, I fucked up. So, you ready?
Yes.
So, we're going to start off strong. First Adam is going to be John Adams, second president of the United States. What are we ranking him 1 through 5?
We'll put him 3. We'll put him around
3,
that
okay.
area.
Okay, good mid-mark. Okay. Next up, we have very famous comedian, a lot of great movies, Adam Sandler.
Give me 1.
That's yeah.
I'm
that's
putting
a
him
smart
number
one.
1.
Favorite Adam Sandler movie?
Ooh. It's there's so many good ones, but I'm gonna go with Happy Gilmore.
Yep. Good
Longest
answer.
Yard is a second, but it's kind
those
of
are
a
my
distant
two.
second.
Happy Gilmore and Longest Yard. I love Longest Yard because Stone Cold Steve Austin is in it.
And don't forget the Waterboy.
Waterboy, yeah.
That was a good one.
Okay. Next, we have a very famous singer who's done some questionable things, Adam Levine.
I'll put him at 4 because there could be somebody who's like a serial killer. But
4.
No,
there are no serial
so
killers on
annoying.
this list.
I like some of his music. Some of his earlier music was cool. I like Maroon 5 a little bit, but he's so annoying. Yeah, put him in. Yeah, and he also didn't he cheat on his wife?
Yep, that's why.
Like there was a leaked DM where he was like, "Oh, what? Yep. Yeah, what a douchebag." Yeah, put him at 4.
Okay,
before the second president.
No, the fourth guy we have, very famous actor, one of the original Batmans, Adam West.
We'll put him at
2 or 5. Put him at 2.
Put him at 2. Yeah.
Okay.
I barely know him, but.
So you're putting the actor above the second president of the United States. Understood. Okay. Last but not least,
it's Batman.
Putting him. It's Batman. He's way cooler than a president.
I'm like Batman, except I have a tummy ache and I'm being very brave about it.
And at number 5, the last guy you have on this list is yourself, Adam Wright, putting himself at number 5.
I'm lower than Adam Levine. Well, I'm not a serial killer.
You're not a serial killer. So, there were no serial killers on the list. I wouldn't go that far. Okay.
And to be fair, well, I've never won Sexiest Man Alive. Adam Levine has. I don't make millions yet.
Give it
Adam
5 years.
Levine has millions.
Hey, if Jason Kelsey could do it, so can you.
Yeah. Well, he's also a professional athlete, so.
Yeah, but look at that.
Professional athletes with podcasts. Oh, you mean I thought you meant making millions. Yeah, being sexy. No. Jason Kelsey, how the hell did that guy get that? Now it's going to be a trend where girls are going to start dating offensive linemen.
They're going to start dating the fat fucks. We respect the fat fucks around here. Okay, you
exactly. So good for them, but like it just shows how shallow some people can be of that gender.
All right. So really quick before we sign off, thoughts on the Patriots. We talked a little bit about this before we hit the record button, but for Pesky Pole Nation, thoughts on the Patriots and Colts game, how fucking atrocious that was.
I'm rooting for them to lose games. The silver lining is that they now, especially now that Kyler is back and he's winning the Cardinals some games too, they just handed them the number 3 overall pick. Their next game is against the Giants. That is going to be a big deciding factor on whether or not they have a top 3 pick in the draft. And if Kyler and company keeps winning games, they may get that number 1 pick either way. But even if they lose, there's still some games they might pull out. I mean, they beat Buffalo. But overall, like if we're looking at just the product on the field, it's so boring. They are actually bottom out bad. I don't think I've ever seen a Patriots team this bad before. And it really, like, they're historically bad. And yeah, the silver lining is they're going to have a top pick, and you better hope that they don't trade out of it.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Let's look at the top 4 teams, or the bottom 4 teams right now, between the Patriots, Giants, Cardinals, and Bears. Cardinals just got Kyler back. They're going to start winning some games. Bears are going to get Justin Fields back soon. They'll start winning some games. And let me add Carolina in there. Carolina, maybe they could start winning a few games, but Bryce Young has been doing okay. He's been doing better.
I'll show you their top 5. So number 5 is Chicago. Yep. Number 4, Arizona. Number 3, New England. Number 2, New York, like the New York Football Giants. Yep. Number 1, Chicago, pick from Carolina. So however Carolina does. Can Bryce Young win any more games? That is, I don't think they're going to finish 1-8, but I have a hard time believing that the number 1 pick is going to go to anyone other than Chicago, because they have 2. They're going to end up having 2 top 5 picks.
Well, like I said, Justin Fields is going to come back. They're throwing out Tyson Bagent right now. Okay, they're throwing out Tyson Bagent,
and he's the one who's been winning them games, by the way.
Justin Fields is going to come back and do better. Okay, the New England Patriots are stuck with Mac Jones and Bailey Zappepe. Okay, and Malik Cunningham whenever he decides to have his 4th stint in his rookie year with the Patriots after being released 3 fucking times.
Who has 2 out of the 3 victories for Chicago? Justin Fields or Tyson Bagent?
Touche. You got a point there. So anyway, so let's listen. And then honestly, the team that I think is going to have the number 1 overall pick is the New York Giants. Okay, Daniel Jones torn ACL out for the season. Tyrod Taylor broken ribs, probably out for the rest of the season. Tommy DeVito, Jake Eason. Those are the 2 guys we're trusting to get them wins.
Yeah,
Tommy DeVito and Jason. And as much as I love Saquon Barkley is a goon. Don't get me wrong. Put some respect on his fucking name. But when the other team knows you're just going to be running the ball, they're going to stop it. You need to have dual threat, which the Giants don't. The Patriots don't either. Don't get me wrong. Mondre should be having a much better season, but they're like, fuck it. It's Bill Belichick's old-ass system, plus them having a shitty QB. They ain't going anywhere. They're not throwing the ball. When your only good wide receiver right now is DeMario Douglas, no one else can do jack for shit. I think it's gonna be Giants with the number 1 pick, Panthers, Bears with the number 2, Patriots with a 3.
If the Patriots have a top 3 pick, it's a win. It's a win for them, because
in order to get number 19,
in order to get, they're not going to do. There's no way they do that. In order to get Caleb or Drake or Harrison Jr., 2 quarterbacks and a wide receiver, in order to get one of those 3, they're going to go top 3. So you need to get a top 3 pick. So if they get 3rd, that's a win. Yeah. And when you have a historically bad team like you do, there's no way you take a top 3 pick and trade out to a mid-level first round. There's no way. They're gonna lock Bill in a room somewhere else, and Kraft makes the pick before that happens.
Yeah,
especially from the reports I heard about this last draft. Apparently Belichick wanted to draft Keion White at number 19. Kraft stepped in and said, no, Gonzalez is here. You pick Gonzalez or you're done. That's what I do. I honestly believe it because I was actually kind of semi-surprised by the pick when I heard that they picked the guy that they should take.
Yeah.
So that gives me some hope. If they have a top 3 pick, I don't think they're trading out of it. I think they take whoever is the best player available, whether that be Marvin Harrison Jr. or Drake May, and it's a happy ending for them.
Yeah.
There you go.
I really hope so too. But with that being said, that's a good length for our podcast episode. We were planning on 30 minutes because the offseason 40 is perfect. So any last words you want to say to the people?
Go follow my podcast. So you liked our little analysis here of the little tankathon going on with the New England Patriots. We have a lot more interesting topics that we talk about. The race in the AFC North is getting more interesting with the Bengals picking up some steam and the Ravens, and both teams meeting up in for Thursday night football in a divisional showdown. That should be huge playoff implications for the entire AFC. We tackle a lot of different stuff, lots of listener engagement. So check out the Fumblerooski podcast.
And I'm complete agreement with that. I'm still saying though, you guys should add a betting segment, like your betting locks for the week, like Giants plus 17.5, like the Giant. I don't know how much of a betting man you are, but I know your co-host Chris is very much a betting man.
Chris 150% is, so I'll let him spearhead it if we do it. But we have a lot of things we need to add. Power rankings, I think, are a must. Stardom situms for fantasy we need to bring back.
Yeah.
We're just trying to add as much as like the best things that we possibly can without making it the episodes drag out. So we're just figuring that out, because when you cover an entire football league, you want to cover all the best stuff. You also don't want it to get too long. So
So with that being said, make sure you go follow the Fumblerooski podcast. And if you are new here, welcome. Thank you for listening. Make sure you hit that follow or subscribe button, whichever platform you're on. That being said, God bless each and every one of you. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you guys next time.
I lost my best friend to 23. She left her body in Harvard above me. I saw no shadow. I looked around, searched every building and home that I found. I saw no shadow, but felt the glow. The warmth inside me, it kept me afloat. It felt like heaven had found my bones and gave me comfort when I feel alone. Now you're gone, I'm alone. I guess it's time to get better. Through the pain, I will go alone. If I fall, break my bones, I will scream even louder. 'Cause I'm not dying alone. I lost my best friend to 23. She left her body in Harvard above me. My best friend to 23. I heard the heavens crying above me. They gained an angel, I lost a friend. I felt like dying again and again. I went through hell, stared at death, but I keep fighting with each living breath. I saw no way out from where I stood. Felt like the fire had burned me through. Now you're gone, I'm alone. I guess it's time to get better. Through the pain, I will go alone. If I fall, break my bones, I will scream even louder. 'Cause I'm not dying alone. I lost my best friend.